Hey gang, Jane back today with a crochet technique video. Now, if you've been following me, you know I usually weave in my ends as I go, and I do have quite a few videos where I demonstrate those techniques. But recently I received a question about how to darn them in afterward, which is how I used to do it all the time. So in this lesson, which is part of one of my Granny Square crochet full classes, I'll be demonstrating that technique step by step. I purposely left all my ends to show you exactly how it's done. Now, in case you're wondering about the square I'm using here, it's a simple design that I created specifically for this class, which is currently available over on my Skillshare, and the class is called the Giving Square. However, it does closely resemble the zippy square pattern, and you can find a tutorial for that here on YouTube. So let's go ahead and jump into this lesson. So you've finished your square, but we still have the ends to work in. You could also work your ends in as you crochet the square, but in this case we've left them to darn in at the end, which is the easiest and most common choice for when you're learning to crochet. So you'll see here I have two ends of each color. For every color that I joined, there's two ends, and of course I have them dispersed around the square. We're going to grab our darning needle that has the nice big hole in it for the yarn. I'm going to start with the center one to show you what I do with that hole. So we'll put our yarn on our darning needle, whatever way works best for you. I like to fold the yarn over top of the darning needle, and then I pinch it with my finger and thumb, and then I pull it out and slip it onto that loop and pull it through. That way I find it goes on nice and easy. So now we're going to work on this center one, and often there might be a little bit of a hole there. So you just take that and you're going to go under these strands around here, go under a few at a time, pull it through, and as you pull it through, give it a little tug. Use your thumb and your finger to hold that center. Give it a little tug and it closes up that center nice and tight. So we'll continue around just a few stitches at a time, and just giving it a nice gentle tug as we go. And if your yarn falls off your needle, just put it back on again. And once you've gone around at least once, oh, see, it fell off there. You like to leave your ends, as I said, about 4 inches minimum, so that you've got something to work with, because you can always cut it off, but it's hard to darn in a short end. So we'll just go one more batch here. I've gone around once. And now with the center, it's always nice to turn back around. So where I came out, I don't want to go right back in there, or it'll just undo what I just did. So you want to go over one strand and then work your way back around. So again, I go under quite a few here and pull the yarn through. And I'm getting to a point where I don't have a lot to work with anymore, and I think that's pretty good. I've gone around once and then I've gone backwards. So at this point, I can cut this off, and it's important to cut them off as you work them, or you'll forget what you worked and what you haven't. I cut them off fairly close to the surface, but not so close I'm going to cut my work, because they will work their way back in. So just give it a nice little cut right there, and that's your first end worked in. I can do the same with this one, but what I'm going to do now is go out closer to the edge and show you one that has chain stitches, because they get worked in just a little bit differently. So let's take this one in the middle, this green, and we'll try working that one in. So again, put it on your needle. Since I have this chain stitch here, I can't really just work it straight around, or it'll show through those chain stitches. So what you want to do is work it up into the stitches. So just grab it in some loops that are on the back here. Just a loop there and a loop there. Pull it up. Give it a nice little tug, but not too tight. You don't want to pucker any of your work. Then I'm going to go under, and you're basically following where your stitches are going. So I'm going to go under these two gray loops. And now you see I worked back into another single crochet here and then back up again. So I'm going to follow that. You can go under any of these loops. You're moving in a general direction here. Under the loops, and just not puckering it too much, but snug enough that it doesn't show, and working back up, following your work. And you're going to go along there for a couple stitches. I'm going to go one more time here under this gray. So now I've worked it from here all the way to here. I can keep going to work the end in this way, and then that'll be a good 4 inches, or I can turn around, which I like to do. So I'm not going to go back in where I just came out. I'm going to go back in here. Sometimes because it gets kind of short here, I have to go ahead and put my needle in and then just zip that into the hole. That's why it's nice if the hole's big. And then I can pull that through in the opposite direction. I can do a little bit more here, again, following back with the course of the stitches. I'm just going to slip that in. I have to kind of twist my end because it's starting to fray. And then I can pull that through as well. And that's nice and secure. On a small square like this, you don't have to worry about long darning in because there's not a lot of movement in a small square. So here we are, the one we just worked, and I'm just going to clip that close to the work. And now you've darned in the one, and you see that you can't see it in these chain stitches. Now if your ends work to the front, which they very well may, and I'm just going to force this one too because I ended it here and it probably will. If you can see that just kind of hanging out there, just little fray, those will happen. You can either tuck those back or you can just trim them off a little bit more. Be careful with your scissors. Do not cut your work. Trim it off a little more and it'll just fall to the back. Sometimes when you cut them at the back, you've left enough that it'll work its way to the front. Trim it off a little bit at the front and it'll work its way back to the back. The other thing I had said is that you can leave this end. This one I didn't in particular for sewing. I should have left it a little longer and I didn't, but you can work those in just on the edge. I'll show you if you need to do that. They're a little different because you don't have a whole bunch of stitches to work those in on. So what we do here, pulling this out of my way, it gets easier as you darn them in. You have less in your way. I just go back into a stitch from the top. And now I'm going to work my way along the stitch line, but I'm going to go into these loops of the chain stitches to hide it at the back. You can see that. And then into the stitch itself. And then back into the loops of the stitches. And then back into the stitch itself. So you just keep going along there, just working into those loops and then back into the stitch. And you work your way along the top. I do get asked if I knot my ends. I almost never do with larger weights of yarn, such as the worsted weight. The knot will inevitably work its way to the front, I find. There's always the exceptions, but as a general rule, I do not knot. And that's just a personal preference. I find it depends on the design and the yarn you're working with. We'll go a little bit further here. And then I'm just going to clip it. I don't reverse on this one because these will be worked into a seam and that'll give that extra support. So it'll be whip stitched over when you do the seam. So you can go ahead and finish the rest of these and then your square will be complete. And when you're done, the back will look as neat as the front, for the most part. If you're working a blanket or a larger project, I like to work a small batch of squares and then darn any of the ends in as I go. It's nice to save up a batch and then just put on some relaxing music or a movie or an audiobook and darn those ends in. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any of my upcoming tutorials. Happy crocheting! And I'll see you next time.